Now, Lagos State Attorney General Moyosore Onigbajo there, and for further interrogation of the observations and the recommendations of this white paper, we are now being joined by a lawyer for the victims of the tragic shooting at the Lekki toll gate, Adeyinka Olumide Fushika, a senior advocate of Nigeria, and another lawyer and civil rights campaigner, Dele Farotimi. I want to say welcome, gentlemen, to Newsday.
Thank you.
Mr. Onigbajo you heard him speak this morning on our flagship program, The Morning Show, about the white paper. Let's start with you, Mr. Fushika. What are your reactions to some of the statements being made and how he has debunked several things and the recommendations are being made by the judicial panel?
Well, to start with, the name is, the correct pronunciation is Fusika.
Fusika, okay.
Fusika.
Okay, Fusika.
Yes, thank you
very much for that.
Let me start by saying that early this morning, and if you permit me, I got a message from one of the bravest human beings that I've met, just over 20 years old, who took on the responsibility of testifying on behalf of his generation at the tribunal, Sarah Ibrahim. If you permit me, it's a short message, I'll just read it out. And it says, "Hi sir, I've been down and I've been in thoughts and I've been extremely sad. I cannot fathom why it feels like the more we try, the more they try to make us look inconsequential. What more is left to be done? Why do they make it all seem this way? It's really disturbing that they are still trying to throw this away. I cannot take it. I can't handle it. I put off my phone since yesterday because I don't know what to say. Everyone is calling, but I don't know what to say. What should I say to Victor Sunday's mom? I spoke to just on Saturday. What should I say to Mrs. Abidin? I visited just on Friday. Or what can I say to Nathaniel and Legend and Samuel? What more can I say to people I told to trust the process of justice?" And I'll say how I responded to her, reminding her that when I accepted the responsibility to assist to present their own side of the story at the panel, I made it very clear to her and to the group that our responsibility is to present the evidence on their side, have it on record for posterity's sake. Not because we expect anything of the panel or of the governor, but let's have it on record. You never can say tomorrow someone else may come in and see things in a different light. To tell you the truth, I was surprised that the panel came up, was bold enough, let me put it that way, to come up with the kind of report it came with. And I know that on the government side, they were equally surprised because that was not what the panel was meant to do. You see, when the basic findings of the panel, and I don't know why anybody is surprised at the way the government is going about it, because saying otherwise would be admitting to, the things that the panel found. The panel said on that night, both the army and the police were there, and they shot and they killed. The governor was the one, contrary to his story, the governor was the one that invited the army to the place. It's all in the bundle of reports. The panel said, not only did you commit these atrocities, you then went on a deliberate attempt, criminal attempt, to bury the evidence. Bodies were taken away. You brought vehicles to, wash blood away. And if you remember, and if you want it, I can send it to you. There was a time the governor gave it, whether it's a press conference or whether, and say, I went there was no blood. I didn't see blood at the scene. Of course, we presented evidence, overwhelming evidence, to show the blood flow in the place. And the panel said, it is true that you brought vehicles to this place. You did not only take away bodies, you tried to, your company, LCC, having issued a statement confirming what happened, that army shot and so on and so forth. The statement is here, I can send it to you. Came before us to say the contrary. Came before us with manipulated video recordings. That was what the panel has said. Now, is Sarah Ibrahim and his group expecting the governor and the government of Lagos State to accept that they engage in that criminal activity of trying to
insane.
cover? They cannot accept it. So let's just leave it at that. It's for
Mr.
posterity's
Fusika,
sake.
Just for the sake of time.
Yes.
You know, we're all enthralled by what you're saying, but I want to hear from Mr. Farotimi. The governor has invited you and a host of others who were quite active in the speaking out against what has happened for a peace walk. Can you give us your reactions when you first heard of the request and what you think about it now?
I just figured Governor Sanwo-Olu is about to give Ali Baba, Basket Mouth, Akororo and Co. a run for their money because he's obviously a comedian. Why he would believe that I'll jettison my grandmother's admonition contained in Psalm 1, verses 1 and 2, I wonder. I am not in the habit of walking around with murderers. And I do not believe for a second that the governor himself was asking a serious question when he requested the walk. I am of the candid opinion, when we were younger, it used to be that you call someone out because you want them to respond or react. When I was younger, I was prone to reactions, but I'm a little older now. A man has called me, he said, come and take a peace walk. So I begin to examine the content of his speech. And the more I looked at the speech, the more I found a dichotomy, if you will, a schizophrenia. In one breath, the governor is talking about the healing qualities of the truth. He was talking about how you cannot build a smart city on lies. And yet, the man is manufacturing lies at an alarming rate. The unfortunate thing about lies is that they lack longevity. He wants normalcy, but he's not prepared to consider the important place of justice in seeking peace. I'll remind you that there are close to 300, we can't even say how many, still in Kirikiri, arrested in the immediate aftermath of the EndSARS protests, indiscriminately across the length and breadth of Lagos. Over 300. They are still in Kirikiri. There is one particular one, Oyebola or something like that. He's had 2 lawyers, he's had 2 appearances before judges of the Lagos State High Court who refused to release him because they were awaiting the DPP's advice. The DPP's advice came out over a year after this boy has been languishing in Kirikiri. I'm on record. It came out and said that the best they could do was charge this boy with an infraction of the curfew order, which would have had him spend a month in Kirikiri. It took a magistrate to give that boy bail, maybe about a week or 2 ago. There are orders still there, and he wants to go walk his. Walk for what exactly? So we should join him in his fig leaf operation. But as my learned senior has said, we never went before the tribunal in search of the truth. We already knew the truth. It was the government that required a PR exercise and a time-buying device, and then set up the panel. It set up the panel believing that it could manipulate or somehow affect events before that panel. Remember, there were 8 men and women sat on that panel. A retired DIG was on that panel. I believe a director in the state civil service was on that panel. It came out with a majority report. There isn't a minority report, it's unanimous.
So how important is the leaked reports from this particular panel? And what's the, you've gone through both, what's the difference between, what are the differences between, is there a variation between the leaked report and this particular white paper that's come out? It's for both of you.
I'll let my learned senior take it first.
Our colleague, Mr. Falano, as senior advocate of Nigeria, has tried to emphasize this point, but most people are not, maybe they don't understand it or are not following it. The tribunal was set up under the Tribunals of Inquiries law of Lagos State. There's no provision in that law for the governor to set up a white paper committee or to issue a white paper. Anybody can pick up the Tribunals of Inquiries law. There's no such thing. Look, what he has done is simple. And I repeat it, and I want them to contradict it. Everything he wrote in that white paper, that was what he sent the head of service. The head of service was his witness. The witness is sent to testify on behalf of Lagos State government. Our Attorney General, Mr. Onigbanjo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, accompanied the head of service to the panel to testify. He's the one writing white paper. So they told a story there at the tribunal, at the panel. The panel rejected all those stories. That's what they have gone to. It's like, being a judge in your own cause. A panel has said, contrary to your stories, this is what the evidence show. You have now gone back to tell your story and call it white paper. I don't understand. And before Ruth comes in, I had the Attorney General talking going on and on and on and on about Professor Obafunwa's testimony and how it contradicted the tribunal's finding. With due respect to him, I think that as a senior lawyer, he should stop this kind of game. Professor Obafunwa's testimony, there was a publication by the coroner of Lagos State. We have 99 bodies in our mortuary down there. Violent deaths, gunshots and all that. NSAS, during the NSAS period. Please come and identify your bodies. The panel took that up and said, come and explain these 99 bodies. That was why Professor Obafunwa was invited. The effort of Professor Obafunwa is the
chief pathologist.
Chief pathologist. He didn't go about picking up bodies. He only came there to say, bodies that we have here, these 99 bodies, the documents they gave to me says, only three came from Lekki Toll Gate. That's on the 99 bodies. It has nothing to do with... Professor Obafunwa's testimony is not the only testimony before the panel. The panel did not base its decision only on Professor Obafunwa's testimony. All the government tried to do was to say, okay, the 99, even though we have 99 bodies at the mortuary, it is true, but they tried to, say, okay, they were not from Lekki, they were from Ikorodu, Obalende, Gudugba, all those other places, and they categorized most of them as hoodlums. That the reasons they were killed was because they were hoodlums. Once you categorize the Nigerian as hoodlum, then it's not entitled to any due process. So that's what that was about.
Yes.
So coming out to say there's contradiction, it's on the 99 body. There were other victims. Last time I was here, I said about Abidin that was mentioned here, the mom.
I just have to interrupt you really quick. We have one of our correspondents at the toll gate as we speak right now.
Okay.
We are joined by Obafemi Adeoye. He's at the Lekki toll gate right now. Can you feel the pulse of the people regarding the subject matter we've been discussing? Can you give us a feeling of how the Lagos residents are taking this white paper report on the NSARS panel?
Yes, there's been a number of communications that I've spoken with today. Some, most of them are not too happy with the white paper. And while others said that they actually expected what the white paper is saying, that reactions between the time when the report leaked and now are, demonstrated or giving them an idea of what will be contained in the white paper. So they said they are not disappointed with what the white paper said, because that is what they have anticipated from the white paper all along.
All right, Jamba, you've spoken about the white paper. As a journalist that has also covered this particular NSAS protests over the years and also followed the reports from the judicial panel. Give us your own opinion about this white paper and the contradictory parts of the judicial panel, the Lagos state government, and the clashing of minds, heads, and everything in between.
Okay, I think the period between when the panel started sitting and the point when the report leaked was a period of uncertainty for many Nigerians. They believe that, most of them were waiting with bated breath, expecting to read the panel's report. But when the report leaked, a lot of people were surprised that a government panel, could come up with such damning report, indicting the government in the whole drama. And you know the kind of reactions that trailed the leaked report, with people attacking other people who are the NSAS panel and the rest of them. So, but when the white paper came out, a lot of people like.
All right, I want to say thank you very much to Oba Adeoye there at the Lekki Toll Gate. Coming back to Dele, I would like to ask you, because Dele, we spoke to you when this leaked report came out, and you said it was almost like a gift from God to man, to humanity. Are you surprised, or how much of a gift was that leaked report, knowing that the white paper has literally contradicted that particular leaked report?
I was saying earlier on, first thing I said was, every time you get a powerful entity or a person to embrace the defense of the indefensible, they've lost. We are in a situation where Nigeria, as a state, and its ruling class have to decide whether they want to become extinct or whether they want to embrace the inevitable change. I said years ago that the magic bullet by which you might kill the Nigerian monster is the truth. And that is what has happened. Nigeria is at an inflection point. I sat down in this studio over a year ago, and I told all of you, I said I triple-dared them to allow that panel to sit. They dared. I'm happy for that. What they have done is that they have created a situation now where the Nigerian state would have to answer a fundamental question. It is either a democracy or is a fascist state. If it is a democracy, Jide Sanwo-Olu and his sponsors in Lagos State will pay a price for what they have done. If it is a democracy. It is not by accident that in the immediate aftermath of the release of that report, Kamsi was attacked. Kamsi was one of those who gave testimony before the panel. Our attackers were explicit in telling her why they were about to kill her, because you cannot call that a mere assault. They slashed her with cutlass. 3 men attacking a single woman at Shangotedo bus stop in the evening. So the Nigerian state and our rulers have to decide how far they are prepared to go in pursuit of the embrace of the lies that they are seeking to cover. Interestingly, the more they try to cover it up, the more stupid they are sounding. Otherwise, intelligent human beings begin to sound stupid once they embrace the lies of Lekki. So, as far as I'm concerned, they can bring their black paper and call it white. It makes no difference to the truth.
Okay.
Sufficient lies have been told to paint a graphic picture of the truth. So we already know what happened. They are the ones who need to decide whether they want to embrace the truth, accept responsibility for their actions and inactions. But that they can continue telling these lies is only for a season. There will be an account.
Mr. Fusika, so now we have the report, we have the white paper, we have the reactions from both sides. Where do we go from here? How far does this truth take us?
Quickly, please.
Sure.
The Attorney General was particular about a person, Solomon.
Yes,
Nathaniel Solomon, who appeared twice
He
as a
said he died,
deceased victim.
but he was a witness before. I think the Attorney General owes it a duty to the people of Lagos State, to be, frontal with the truth. Nathaniel Solomon came to the tribunal as a witness to establish the death of his brother.
So they both had the same name.
His brother, his blood brother, killed at the place. He was just a witness to establish the fact that his brother was killed. Not one of the 99, no, inside the morgue. To establish that his brother was killed in that place, the compensation or whatever award that was made to the family for the death of the young man. But the Attorney General, if a mistake would have been made in the report, but the Attorney General knows the truth. He knows the truth. If I have a brother and I'm dead, and you are paying compensation, are you going to pay it to me? I'm dead.
So what you're saying is a mere oversight is now being harped on.
It's just the testimony of the witness is that my brother was shot and killed at Lekki Toll Gate. The brother is well known. The pictures, everything was established before the panel. But for the Attorney General to now come and say, oh, he was a witness, they said he died. I mean.
Yeah, small inconsistencies being harped on to make. But let's get your response.
Let's put it this way. We are all lawyers. When a lawyer has the law, he argues law. When the lawyer is bereft of the law, he argues facts. When neither the law nor the facts are in your favor, you find distractions. What has been happening is that each and every one of the persons speaking on behalf of either Lagos State government, the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian police, or Mr. Lai Mohammed, each and every one of them, when they open their mouths to talk related to Lekki, they know ab initio that they cannot afford to tell the truth. They cannot afford to tell the truth. Look, the specter of the ICC is looming over several shoulders. Let's be clear about that. We are the ones who do not appear to have any respect for human lives in our country. So because Obafunwa came and said 99 people died and only 3 came from Lekki, only. What do we mean only? These are somebody's children, somebody's mother, somebody's father. Look at the other day. Akim Odumoshu came out and said that the girl that was killed in Ojota was planted there, that the corpse was not fresh. Can you beat that? The corpse was not fresh. Later, the same girl that was said to have been planted there, the same Lagos State government was busy renting apartment for 2 years, giving them, I think, ₦1 million or something for the life of a human being. We have absolutely no respect whatsoever for human life in our country. And it's unfortunate. And that's what I'm saying. We are going to have to decide whether we are a democracy or a fascist state. There will be an account. They can tell all the lies they care to tell.
Mr. Farage, I want to say thank you, as always, for always obliging us with your presence.
Thank you.
And Mr. Fusika also, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We've not had the last of this. This
Yeah.
is
Clearly not.
We've not had the last
Most
of this.
definitely
Really
not. It's just starting.